Hey everyone, Meet Kevin here. It is bright and early in southern Florida and we are going to explore real estate. And that's because we are hunting for my real estate startup that has now raised over $27 million in literally just 21 days. It's absolutely insane. And folks, we're looking for places to deploy that money. So if you're an agent, slide in the DMs over on Instagram or chat with me on Discord at metkevin.com/chat. But for now, let's explore South Florida. Now, to be clear, we're just starting the hunt now because we're not actually going to start doing the buying probably until the Fed U-turns, probably somewhere around mid to end of 2023. That's when we think the real estate market will be lower. Shout out to Ryan, by the way. He's gonna help us out. Hey Ryan.
Hey, how you
Thanks
doing?
man for helping me. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Ryan Pierre. I'm with Keller Williams Realty and I serve Broward, Florida.
The first property we looked at was listed for about $520,000 in Weston Hills. That area is known as being one of the safest in South Florida, and you get a lot of potential for long-term rentals there. Long-term rent on this kind of property here could be about $3,500 per month, which with a property tax rate at about 1% is actually not that bad. We've got property tax rates of about 1% in California, and for a $520,000 property, you'd be getting a fraction of that rent, probably about $1,000 to $800 less than you'd be getting here in Weston. But the property wasn't enough of a fixer-upper for me. So I said, Ryan, I need a wedge. So that's exactly where he took me, to a wedge that's not too far from Sunrise's Corporate Center. And the reason I mentioned Sunrise's Corporate Center is because one of my favorite companies that I believe will survive the earnings recession, American Express, has their headquarters in Sunrise now. Take a look at this headquarters in Sunrise, close to both Weston and these other areas.
Realize this is a corporate campus designed to please employees and keep them productive. A concept American Express calls Blue Work.
We've created a very collaborative open workspace.
Are multiple game rooms in each tower.
The company even put in a backup daycare center for its employees, complete with a playground, a sandbox, a splash pad, and even a basketball court.
The facility has a state-of-the-art cafeteria with soup and salad bars and cook-to-order healthy specialties from the grill.
Oh, Michael, this caramel macchiato is awesome.
To top it all off, they have a Starbucks inside with a full-time barista to keep employees fueled and moving Amex into the future.
There's usually no light in his listings.
It's all right.
Because they're like...
And that's how I ended up at this moldy fixer-upper, which is awesome because I love moldy fixer-uppers. This place probably is going to end up selling for about $420,000. And what's remarkable is even though there's mildew, there are roof leaks, it's gross and it's nasty and it stinks and the alarm's going off and everything's wrong with it, you can actually see an active listing of exactly the same floor plan for just over $650,000. Now, that's got to close and we're still moving in potentially a market that's trending down, but that's okay. We're not looking to buy right now. We're just looking for the neighborhoods. This would ordinarily be something I'd be very excited about. And the reason for that is simple. If you can buy a property for $420,000, put $80,000 into it, maybe a new roof, clean up the inside a little bit, paint, flooring, everything else, and now you're in an area that's worth $150,000 more than your total all-in cost. That is, it's worth $650,000 and you're paying $500,000 all-in with your fix-up. Then you're building your net worth or you're building your company's equity. That's the point. And remember, the whole point of real estate is to make more money with spending less money. Here's a townhouse that I looked at that looks like it has this beautiful white brickwork on the inside. But when I went there, I realized they were up to something else, and it's brilliant. Oh wow, that's just a wallpaper. So then we went to Dania and Hollywood, which is near this new Hard Rock Casino guitar that opened up in 2019 that literally costs like $1,400 a night to stay at. It's insane. I'm at an airport hotel for $175 a night using reward points because I gotta save money. That is extravagant, but I love real estate around it. We're in Dania Beach, and really interesting. You got a solar-powered streetlight right there, even though power is right there. Maybe that's because when you have hurricanes, these power lines tend to get blown over. I'm not super convinced that this is Dania Beach. I'm not super convinced on an area like this. You know, generally when, in my opinion, you get you know, people parking in the grass. You know, you have a little bit less of like a homogenous feeling. You know, there's certainly no HOA that's regulating things. People think HOAs are bad, but I mean, like, an HOA prevents some of these things that hurt desirability in an area. So, you know, you're also pretty close to the airport, so you hear, I mean, some people think that's desirable, but you hear the planes coming in and out all the time. Oh yeah, gosh, literally taking off right there. I just saw them come through the trees. But anyway, this is probably my least favorite so far. Let's take a look. Now, what's remarkable is that a $545,000 property like this could rent for probably somewhere around $3,500, even where it is here. I mean, you've got condos renting for $2,850 or townhomes renting for this, but it's not exactly in my favorite, most spicy spot. And so when I looked at the Airbnb map, I saw that there was a segment of Dania Beach that had even juicier returns. Instead of maybe renting a place for $350 per night as an Airbnb, you could potentially get as much as $600 per night. Even at 60% occupancy for a month, that'd be $10,800 per month, which is roughly 3 times what the normalized rent could be. Such a good trick right here, these outlets. This is like an old ivory outlet that they covered up with just this plate right here. It makes it look like it's a white outlet, so I love it. But this newer area was more expensive for the actual properties, and it had to do with its proximity not only to newer development, but also to the marina. So we better see some good yachts at that marina. All right, so we want to see newer yachts. The more newer yachts we can see, the better. It's really good. So this is quite exciting, because if you did a vacation rental here and somebody could come over here and just rent one of these yachts or whatever, or, you know, rent even a smaller boat, a little sports boat or a pontoon boat or something like that, I mean, that's value for like an Airbnb, just because you have amenities nearby. But not just that, we want rentability of boats. And so of course I called the local boat rental places to get the details, and you could be outside on the ocean within 20 minutes. All this while being relatively close to new construction shopping. And next up, we go to Fort Lauderdale, where we take a look at something that at first I thought had no chance of making money, but I was blown away by this one. Okay, so we're coming up on a house that sold, what, it's 3 units and then he turned it into 5?
Yeah, no, it's a 4. He turned it into 5.
It was a 4, he turned it into 5,
Yes.
and then he just Airbnb'd all the units out.
Yes.
And how far are we from the beach?
We're literally 10 to 15 minutes away from the beach.
10 to 15 minutes.
Yes.
So it's this house right here, and this orange and white one here.
That one.
And then how much did you say the financials were showing? He was
$12,000 to $16,000 a month.
$12,000 to $16,000 per month.
Yes, and it's on the main street.
Wow. Yeah, no kidding. So you'd think you'd get less, but no, $12,000 to $16,000 a month, and he bought it for like 400 something.
He bought it for $450. I think he bought it as a fixer upper. Spent a lot of money into it.
Sure.
And he sold it for $1.290.
Sold it for 1.2. Yeah, it makes
Yes.
sense. I mean, you're making that kind of money. Jeez. But even if you paid 1.2 for it and you were making 12 grand a month, even if you were making 10 grand a month, that's amazing.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. All right. Don't forget though, Airbnbs come with extra labor costs. A good long-term rental really takes like maybe 2 or 3 interactions with a tenant per year, whereas an Airbnb could take interactions with tenants daily. Very different labor costs, and you got furniture costs to consider as well. So it's not always as much cash flow as it seems. You have to operate a business properly, with scale and with systems. Otherwise, just like any business, you could fail. But it wasn't just Fort Lauderdale. It was also Hollywood, all thanks to their proximity to the beach. So then we looked at what was advertised as a triplex. I think it's more like a duplex, but the point is, it's in an area that if I first rolled up on, I'd probably be like, yeah, no, I'm not even going to get out of my car here. Don't really have those great feelings, at least than what I initially had, but I was really impressed when I actually started not only looking at the property, but then also the rental comps. Now, this doesn't mean that on my first visit to an area, oh, that's it, we're going all into an area, right? Every area deserves a poverty analysis, a population analysis, your core jobs analysis, an analysis of market trends over time. Like, you can't just go into an area and start buying. That's how you make mistakes. You have to get exposed to areas, then Watch listings in an area for like 6 months to a year and really watch how things change. And what you're going to notice is the best areas will see their listings sell first all the time. So in case you're wondering, when you see sometimes these high cash flow numbers and it's like, why is that sitting on the market? Because it looks like a good deal, but maybe you have to collect the rent with a gun to get that good deal, right? Now, I'm not saying that's true of this area. This is my first day in this area. And even though I grew up in South Florida, I've never gone to Dania Beach or Hollywood to look at real estate before. So I have to be very, very careful and study very hard. So even though things like this can look attractive, usually there's a lot more once you peel back the hood. So I don't want anybody to watch this video and think, oh, that's it, Kevin's going all in over here. But if he looked at this comp, he'd see some problems or whatever. This is day one of what's going to be a multi-year process of education and exploring everything that we know about real estate to make sure we're making the best decisions possible. And that's exactly what you should be doing as a home buyer as well. Now is the time for you to be thinking about, okay, how am I going to prepare to buy a home? If I'm living in an area, which areas are the best? Would I do a Craigslist transaction here at 9 o'clock at night? What's the income like? What are the jobs like? Have I driven by that American Express building? Me personally, no. Like, what if it's a dump? What if they say they take hybrid work and engineers, but like you go there on a Monday and there's literally nobody ever there? Well, if nobody's ever there, then maybe they're actually 90% remote and nobody actually needs housing around there and they've just got an empty office building that they built, right? These are all things that you need to study. You've got to become an expert in every single market that you invest in before you actually invest in it. These are the things we talk about in the real estate investing course linked down below. If you want to know everything that I actually do to understand that I'm getting a good deal and you just want to have that knowledge, like, join the courses, link down below. That's the best thing that you could do. You get a download of my brain. And even if you're like, I'm kind of thinking about investing in House Hack, but, you know, is Kevin going to make sure that he's protecting our investment? There it is. It's literally in the flight path. Well, look at my real estate videos. Go through the courses that I have on real estate. And then ask yourself, do you think I'm knowledgeable or not? I don't love that we've got all these candles around here. To me, that's just a sign of like, okay, come on, like you're covering up the water smell. Like, this is so obvious. Oh, cockroach dead. Right? Anyway, so if I just want to be clear, if there's any excitement at any part of any of this video is not to make decisions. This is literally like a first look, all right? There are many more to follow. Okay, like, I'm getting blown away by the numbers here. I just did the numbers, and I'm like, that's insane. There's no way. And you're like, no, it's not insane. That is what it is.
It's not.
It's crazy. So if let's just say you got $420 in total at 69% occupancy times 30 days, that's over $8,600 a month. That it just seems so wild. I mean, even if I got half of that, like $4,300 on a place that you buy for like 700 grand, that's great. You get twice that. You're just rolling in money. It's insane. I mean, obviously the labor costs involved in dealing with Airbnbs and short-term rentals, right? There's work involved. But wow, that I'm blown away because when I first got on that street, I'm like, I don't really want to be here, you know? And
if it cash flows, it cash flows.
The cash flow there is insane. Wow. You're being too complimentary here. What were you saying? Because like I'm here trying to compliment you, man. Like, you know so much about this area here in South Florida. It's amazing.
Okay, all I can say is that you are 100% right about acquiring the new skills and knowing the area. For instance, like everything that you wanted to know, I told you, and I learned it almost everything from you. So swipe up before the coupon code. When is it? October, whatever.
We gotta set a new date.
Yes.
And of course, as I ended my day with Ryan, I walked into a podcast in Miami with Pomp. Stay tuned for that episode soon. And so you thought the day was over. Nope, we gotta look at another fixer, this time an approved short sale. And now we're out with Mike. Mike, introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, Mike Valencia. I'm Mike, the real estate guy down here in Miami. I brought Kevin to see this property here in Pembroke Falls, exclusively for House Hack, one of the first wedge deals that hopefully we can get into. It's a 5-bedroom house, just under 3,000 square feet, 2-car garage. The lot is massive. You got an excellent yard on both sides, and the back door was left open.
So this was an amazing approved short sale, and the comps were all between $900 to $1.2 million for similarly sized properties. It's got blue tarp on the roof, but there's no evidence that there's actually a water leak, and the blue tarp's basically already blown off the roof. So it basically just looks like a home that's severely damaged, and obviously always subject to inspection, right? You do your inspection, but boy, oh boy, stuff like this where people make a property look bad because it's a short sale and nobody cares, and it's actually not that bad. It's like 30 years old or less than that. I think closer, actually 20 years old on this property. It's like, this is where you can get deals. Poorly marketed listings. This is why short sales were always so desirable, because nobody actually cared what the darn thing sold for, so they didn't even bother trying to clean it up with some basic things that could make a difference of hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's a wedge. This is like not. This is easy, man. Jeez, doesn't even need anything. This is easy. This is the best kind of wedge deal there is. You have to literally do nothing. I mean, we might have to mow the grass, but this is not bad at all. Get the sandbags off my tiles. See, the sandbags cracking the tile are going to cause more damage than this roof is causing right now. I mean, some of the rents these properties are getting are great. I mean, here's one that's a couple hundred square feet larger, $6,500. Same square footage we've got at $6,000, and then a couple slightly larger, different conditions at $5,900 and $5,400. Obviously, there's some work to do in terms of combing through all the comps, right? Not buying right now anyway, but boy, oh boy, This is amazing. I mean, Florida, wake up to wedge deals. Now we're gonna go look at a property that's just a little bit dated, but it's worth looking at some of these deals, because even if something's not a complete fixer-upper, doesn't mean it can't be a wedge deal. In fact, the best wedge deal is one that you're getting substantially under market value, but that you have to do very, very little work to. For example, if people think it needs a lot of work, but then it actually doesn't, like this one with the broken roof. If you get a roofer and they certify it and they say something to the effect of, hey, there's just this little, 50 square foot area, you got to patch over here or replace the felt on, you don't have to replace the whole roof. There you go. Of course, a roofer is going to try to sell you a whole new roof, but you got to ask the right questions, and then you can figure out where the wedges are. Oh, is the market slowing down? How is your guys' market doing?
It's beginning to slow down now. A lot of people are trying to price their properties in the same way that the market was about 6 months ago.
Yeah, they're looking at the comps going, I want that.
Exactly, and they're not doing a good job at educating their clients, saying, hey, it's not the same market as it was 6 months ago. So obviously the rule of 10x, as the interest rates have gone up, you should be pricing it lower and kind of incentivize the buyers to be like, oh, everything else is closing here and they're listing it this much, that's a good deal. My listings are at least getting offers within a week, where most people...
You're pricing it right, though, yeah.
Pricing it right.
The rule of 10x. You listen to that guy, Meet Kevin, on YouTube?
A few times.
Well, here was a pretty basic kind of a wedge deal where really you just have to negotiate the price down. The inside is just cosmetically dated, but it's not that big of a deal. The price has to be right, otherwise it's not a wedge deal, right? Not every single property that's dated is actually a good deal. You could donate this stuff. Restore and take a tax deduction? Yeah, tax deductions. So you have to be careful. You just have to make sure you do your numbers. You can go visit properties all day long until you're blue in the face, but they also have to make sense, not just in person, but behind the spreadsheet. Even though I hate spreadsheets, okay, you could do napkin math, but you know what I mean. Those, by the way, are accordion shutters. Really kind of valuable on the second story for on that hurricane season. Mike, what do you say to people who are like, there's no deal out there, there's too much competition?
The deals are still out there. You just gotta talk to the right people. And seriously, give me a call sometime. I can easily show you some.
This is so weird, but this feels like home. It's like the same layout as the home I grew up in. This is so weird. And we even had a little lake. Same thing. Same thing. Crazy. All right, this is the last stop of the day. What do we got here? What's your name and what are we about to look at?
So this is Mike Rev, and we're gonna be showing a single family home It's going to be the first Airbnb for House Hack.
Oh yeah, it smells like 1957.
You smell it? I smell it.
Oh yeah, you smell the moisture. Look, the reality is it's probably going to be 9 months to a year before we actually start buying. We've got so much learning to do, and if you want to join this journey, I am going to vlog the entire journey. So if you want to learn, even if you're not able to participate with House Hack yet, or you're thinking about participating with House Hack when we do the non-accredited round, likely in January or February, stay tuned, buckle up, watch for these videos. They're going to be really exciting, and join those courses on building your wealth, especially with real estate, via the link down below. Let's make money together. Thanks for watching. Bye.